the code update part first as old business, then maybe it gives them more time if they are still trying to join. Let me check and make sure I haven't gotten an email in the last minute and a half. Nope. Okay, so.
Well, you mean the replat? We'll do that last, right? Under new
Hold on. Okay.
That's somebody's dog. What is that?
Not my dogs. I just got rid of them.
Sam, no. That's my dog.
What's your dog? Okay.
Somebody's walking their dog down the street. So of course my dog has to.
You gotta alert everyone in the house that there's another dog.
Yes.
Okay. Here comes Brian. So they're obviously skiing somewhere. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting. I'd like to open up the planning board meeting for March 18th, 2021. Can we have the roll call, please?
All right. Okay, Mr. Tuttle.
Here.
Mr. Stangle.
Here.
Mr. Harding. Mr. Bennett.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, can we pause 1 minute, everyone? I'm having to listen to the YouTube at the same time, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that stop.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Hold on. This is. Okay, now I'm good.
All right, good. All right. So we'll have the approval of the prior minutes of February 25th, 2021. Are there any discussion on the minutes, prior minutes?
Looks good to me. I would move to approve the prior minutes.
I'll second it.
A motion was made by Mr. Tuttle to approve the minutes, the planning board minutes of February 25th, 2021, and this was seconded by Mr. Stangle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the Wenzels are here. Do you want to do the replat right now?
Yeah, we can do that.
Discussion? I want to know where the where are you guys skiing?
That was actually a few weeks ago in Jackson Hole.
So that's a fake picture?
Well, yeah, it's not live right now.
That
Yeah,
is not a current picture. You faked me out. I thought, wow.
that was just we took a trip to Wyoming 2 weeks ago. Did some skiing out there.
Wow. My wife and I have been to Jackson many times, not skiing. I can't even imagine skiing at Jackson. It's so steep, but that's beautiful. Okay, Jessica, the replat.
Pam, can we share my screen? Is it a thing that we can do?
You're muted, Pam.
I'm assuming it's sharing.
Yes.
Okay. So the applicant is Matthew Heiss with Brumball Engineering. The owner is Brian Wenzel. The parcels are addressed 1923 Sugar Maple Place and 1915 Sugar Maple Place. They are lots 53 and 54 in Highview Terrace along Sugar Maple Place and would be combined to allow the owner to place a structure more central between the two parcels. The replat also proposes to vacate the existing 15-foot drainage and utility easement that existed between the two lots. Additionally, a drainage and utility easement would be established on the southern side of the property at 12.5 feet in size. The proposed structure would be in the planned unit residential district. The property, as stated before, it has a 50-foot landscape and drainage easement along the western side of the property. And it has the 15-foot drainage and utility easement that's more central in the between the two parcels in the center of the property. This additionally, that's the easement that would be vacated. They are also proposing a 12.5 drainage and utility easement along the southern side of the property, in addition to a 15-foot storm easement that will run diagonally across the southern side of the property. So that's a lot to take in. So if you look, these gray lines are the easements that are going to be vacated. Here is where the easements are going to essentially be reestablished for utility and drainage access, in addition to some storm easement here. And here's that 50-foot drainage easement I was just speaking of. It looks pretty cut and dry to me. Staff sees no issue with approving this replat.
Well, we've done this many, many times in the past, and it's always worked out very well. And anyway, we're here to help the people of Bellbrook, not to hinder them. So does anybody have any discussions on the replat?
I've always felt these lots back here are too narrow anyway, so I have no problem with it. I know several of the houses back here are built on multiple lots, so I have no problem.
Brady, what about you?
Engineering wise, is there any concern over the amount of additional drainage that's now going into the previous easements? Or I don't know enough about this to know the details, but I'm just curious if we're abandoning that and loading all the water into the other one. Is there any issue with that?
I don't foresee any issue now.
Well, engineering wise, it's capable of carrying that much more water.
Yeah.
Okay, if no more discussion, do I have a motion for the replat of 21-01 Highview Terrace lots 53 and 54?
I'll go ahead and do it. A motion to approve the replat of 2101 Highview Terrace lots 53 and 54.
I'll second.
All right, I'm not muted, correct?
No,
You're good.
Nope, hear you.
Right. A motion was made by Mr. Stengel to approve the replat 21-01 of Highview Terrace of lots 53 and 54. This was seconded by Mr. Tuttle. Mr. Stengel,
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle,
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the Brian and family can move on, I guess.
It actually has to go to city council as well.
Okay, oh, there we are. Very good. Hey, Brian, you're all approved.
Sounds great. Yeah, and Jessica, I can connect with you post on the city council process and everything. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Awesome. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, now we're going to old business. Now we're going to do 1805A accessory buildings. Jessica?
Okay, so I completely went through and rearranged this to try to make it into a more, a document that flows better. I don't know if I succeeded in doing that, but that was my hope. And I added some additional things that we spoke of last time. They were highlighted in yellow. I was hoping to maybe get your feedback on this and in hopes to kind of move forward with it or anything such as that, I guess. One thing I am going to note Melissa brought this up to me today. I think next time I want to do a staff report to kind of explain the changes that I'm making rather than just giving you the changes. I think that that would be helpful rather than just kind of giving you the code without really further explaining it unless it's brought up in the meeting. So.
Sounds like a good idea. I was perfectly happy when I was reading through 1805A. It looks good to me. I think the changes you made are very good.
I didn't have any additional comments.
I only had one small thing, and it's so stupid. I don't even want to bring it up really, but I'm going to. Under 1805B breezeways, number 1, it's highlighted in yellow. It says the accessory structure and principal structure are no more than 10 feet apart. But when you like go down to definitions to be added, a roof passageway, whether fully enclosed or not, less than 10 feet. I mean, it's not more, less than, like, do we care?
Yeah, it should be consistent.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it would put a gray area on something that's exactly 10 feet. And I like I said, it's so stupid. I don't really care which way it reads, to be honest.
It needs to be it should state no more because we really don't want it any longer.
Okay. Well, yeah, if that changes, everything else in here looked fine. I had no issues. Like I said, that was just, and I'm not nitpicky. It stood out as like a inconsistent.
That's a good comment. That's not a bad comment at all. So.
But yeah, if you update that, I would approve it, just amending that one thing. Otherwise, it's good by me.
Can we approve this as A, B, C, or do we have to do these individually?
Either way you want to do it, we can break it out and do each one, or do it as a whole.
Well, I was going to discuss each one individually and then approve the whole thing, I think. What do you think?
That sounds good. Jessica, can you talk a little bit about swimming pools? I know that was kind of a little bit of a contentious area last month.
Yeah, so what I went through and I added hot tubs because we discussed hot tubs, and I added the cover that is capable of being locked, and there is the load capacity of equal to 275 pounds, and that is that is the American Home Building Association standard. So that's not a number I just pulled out. It has a reference, and it's really hard to actually find that standard because they want you to pay $50 for this document, and so I was trying to find it. I was struggling to find it, but we actually, the swimming pools, we have regulated in the past. In the swimming pool definition, it did say 18 inches or more, so that's not something that we hadn't had before. I just missed it, so I think that we're good to go on swimming pools at least.
Okay, is there any more discussions on swimming pools? If not, we can move on to breezeways. Tim already, does anybody else have anything about breezeways? If not, so Pam, do we need a motion for 1805 A, B, and C to approve that?
Yes.
Okay, then let's go ahead. Do I hear a motion to approve 1805 A, B, and C?
So moved.
Was that Brady? Did you?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll second it.
Okay. With the one
change.
change to, yes,
Well, yeah, with the
yeah, I'm getting all this. Yeah.
the Tim change.
All right. So Mr. Harding made a motion to approve 18.05 A, B, and C of accessory buildings of the Bellbrook zoning code with the change in 18.05B breezeways to be consistent in saying no more than 10 foot. And this was seconded by Mr. Stengel. Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Stengel,
Yes.
Mr. Tuttle,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay, and
Thank
we're moving on to open discussion. Does anybody have any open discussion?
Well, Denny and I are been around here long enough to know and call this place San Sushi, but it looks like it's for sale.
Mhm.
I don't think there's any shortage of developers that would love to get their hands on that property.
Yeah, you can probably expect to see that in the future, just FYI. We haven't received anything yet, but we have had calls about it and calls about the zoning and calls about, what it is currently zoned and how hard it would be to rezone it and things like that. And I just tell them the same thing, we would need to work with a comprehensive plan to match, what's expected in that. And, they'd have to meet the expectations. So
Which property is that?
that is the big property that is, it's kind of across from Little Sugar Creek.
The Stoke Farm or whatever.
Cross some dots.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
77-acre property.
Right?
Yeah, that's one. Mhm.
Okay.
5.2 million.
Yeah, I saw.
There's
It's a
an
beautiful
old
property.
there's an old snow cat sitting out there.
Right.
Yep. With a skeleton that they like to decorate.
I talked with the owner, Steve, and he was very upset that, I don't know, I won't go into it, but he was upset that that did not happen. He felt that he didn't get very good cooperation from the city council. And they just felt like they weren't willing to work with him. Anyway, saying that, now that's probably going to be a housing development.
Yeah,
It could have been a viable business.
yeah. It is a beautiful property too. It's,
Oh, no kidding.
and those
Did I hear
buildings
somebody
are,
say it's 5.2 million they're asking for that?
yeah. It's, those houses are beautiful too. That one historic structure, I'd hate to see it go.
I'd like to make a proposal. Why don't we all just, pitch in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa Jones said that. She said we should all buy it because it's so pretty.
And is there any more open discussion?
This is towards Pam. Do you know, has there been any scuttlebutt about going back to in-person meetings anytime soon?
So there is a little bit, part of our situation is, so luckily the state, at the beginning of the year approved, virtual meetings be allowed through, the end of June. Our situation right now is right at the time when all this started happening last year. Our computer system that runs the cameras and everything out of the council chamber died. Like no bringing it back to life. They tried. So that system is dead. We just now have gotten some quote information in on replacing that. And then there's some upgrades that have to happen to the system because that was a really old system that we were using. So for the time being, our best option is to be by Zoom, because then that way at least we can live stream onto the what am I calling it?
YouTube.
The YouTube channel. Yes, that's the word. So until we have the new system in that room, that one of the problems is you can't Zoom right next to somebody else who's Zooming, because it just does a bunch of feedback and it doesn't work. So like you have to be in separate rooms. And so right now we're having some technical difficulties that we're working towards fixing. So hopefully soon we will be back in person, but I'm not quite sure about getting the new system up and running.
Although I enjoyed the in-person meetings when we had chamber count at the council chambers, Zoom, I don't even have to wear pants.
Yeah, so
I would
there,
like to
there's,
not have my dogs running around with this.
yeah, so
Jessica's dog running around.
we will be back in person at some point. I just don't have a date yet until we find out a little bit more about what's going on with that.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah.
Any more open discussion? If not, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Is that Mr. Stengel that seconded?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's so hard to tell. A motion was made by Mr. Tuttle to adjourn the planning board meeting of, what is this, March 18th?
18th.
Yeah, and this was seconded by Mr. Stengel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Weekend.